So right next to me here is a BMW E60. This is perhaps the most controversial member of the 5 Series lineage. When it was launched in 2003 to replace the E39, the E60's design polarized opinion. It split enthusiasts to the camp of like it or hate it. Even today, 20 years from its launch, the E60 continues to divide opinion like no other car that came before or after it. But whether you like it or you hate it, you cannot deny the fact that the E60 has had a lasting influence in modern car design. In fact, the irony is that 20 years after BMW launched the E60, they have now launched an all-new 5 Series that draws inspiration back from the E60. Now, this is not to say that BMW took the E60, rehashed it and gave us the G60 design. Nothing like that at all. But it is very clear that when you look at the G60 next to the E60, it's as if as the designers were looking at the E60, then they asked themselves the question, what if we put the E60 through 20 years of evolution? Chances are you would arrive at something that looks pretty much like the G60. The cues are there, the relative size of the lights versus the grille. That is one of the greatest resemblance of the E60 versus the G60. In fact, when I first saw pictures of the G60, it immediately reminded me of this car. Now, the one area where the G60 is clearly seen to have taken inspiration from the E60 is actually at the side profile, particularly the door panels. You see, in the E60, the door panel is relatively flat. There isn't much in terms of design features on the door. It's just one large flat panel with this relatively gentle character line. And the door handle is separate from the character line. This is quite unlike other members of the 5 Series lineage. The E60 and the G60 are the only ones with this relatively large flat space and the door handles separate from this character line. So this example of the E60 that we are seeing here isn't exactly factory spec, but we are rather proud of this car. We have a strong attachment to it because the owner entrusted us for the last few months to help him source a few upgrades for this car. We've had the car repainted, re-upholstered, headlights upgraded by CSB Pro, new sport rims, quite a few things done. If anything, the amount of resources and attention lavished on this car is indicative that even now, 20 years from its launch, the E60 continues to command a strong, enthusiastic following amongst enthusiasts. So throughout its model cycle from 2003 to 2010, the E60 was powered by a great variety of engines, but majority in Malaysia are of course the inline 6-cylinder petrol engines. At launch, the E60 came with the bulletproof M54 engines that were carried over from the E39 but upgraded with a 6-speed transmission. In 2005, BMW removed the N54 engine and replaced it with the N52. Then in 2007, the E60 was facelifted, but it continued with the N52 engines. You also can get the V8 powered 545i. That is quite a beast, but of course you have to worry about road tax, and engine parts are not as commonly available as the 6-cylinder models. There's also the diesel models, which initially there was the 530D and the 520D. Those aren't available in abundance, but they are relatively problem-free, reliable, and offer very, very good fuel economy. Now, the one engine type that you have to be a bit more careful with are the UK spec models, the later batch UK spec models. Those came with the N53 naturally aspirated direct injection engines. Now, the N53 engine was never officially available in Malaysia because BMW was never able to make that engine work with high sulfur fuel, so they never officially offered it. But some cars with the N53 engine did make their way into Malaysia, and at that time, remember that because of our high sulfur fuel, continued usage of high sulfur fuel with those engines do lead to long-term complications, and it is best that you avoid cars with those engines altogether. This example that you are seeing here, this is a pre-facelift 2007 530i with the 3-liter N52 engine. Now, if you're a fan of the E60 and you've been dreaming of buying one of these, do it now. Now is the best time because prices are rock bottom. In fact, it is not uncommon to see examples of the E60, and I mean running examples of the E60 being offered for less money than the E39. But the flip side of this equation, the complication, is that a lot of E60s in the market have also went through owners that were shopping with Vios and City Budget and maintaining their cars with Vios and City Budget, and therefore did not go through the proper preventive maintenance that these cars need in order to run reliably. So there will be a few examples out there that require quite a bit of tender loving care to get up to speed. But make no mistake, after our experience working on these cars, I can say with absolute certainty the E60 is a solidly reliable car, and I can also tell you that whatever people say about the E60's electronic gremlins, not true, because this car, the Evo Club Car Wash team, we had taken this car apart, we have put it back together, everything on this car works properly. So to show you our handiwork with this car, firstly, it has been repainted by our friends at PDL Auto Works. The owner chose to go with Sepang Bronze. This was originally an M5 color, but now he has got it on his 530i. The bits that you don't see is that, well, the engine has been tuned by DNA tuning. The chassis has been strengthened with Autofoam by KL Auto. The wheels have been upgraded. This nice two-tone multi-spoke alloy wheels, we sourced it from King of Rims for him. The tail lights, these are of course not factory tail lights. These are aftermarket LED tail lights. The owner sourced this. This came with the car when we received it. And the bumper has this more aggressive full-on diffuser quad exhaust setup with this protruding diffuser element. Very, very aggressively done. Now we come to the front end. These are aftermarket Taiwan headlights, but with a crucial upgrade. You see, the projector here is upgraded by CSB Pro. Now the owner likes these hexagonal style daytime running lights, so he's got that design in, but the lighting, the actual lighting projection has been upgraded by CSB Pro to give it superior illumination at night. And of course, this M Sport bumper design was a very popular upgrade with E60 owners at that time, and this owner made it even more aggressive with this additional lower lip at the bottom. The kidney grills are also changed with this all black look, and that gives this car a really aggressive appearance. Okay, so let's check out the interior. Now, this was very proudly reupholstered, refinished by us in collaboration with DK Schweitzer. Check it out. So these are the original seats of the car, but the upholstery that you see here, these aren't original. You won't find this in the catalog. The owner opted to have the seats reupholstered full Napa, beautiful orange color with nice blue color contrast. Another enhancement is that the dashboard trims have these forged carbon inserts. Now this is also not factory. We got a supplier here in KL to refinish the dashboard trim inserts with this forged carbon look. This door card here, you can notice that it has this strip that is of matching color with the seats. In the original design of the door card, actually this part is also of matching color here, but the owner of this car specifically wanted the armrest area to be black so that the stains are not readily apparent. And this is a unique quirk of the pre-facelift car in that you have the grab handle at this angle and the power window switches align here right next to the handle seat over there, the passenger side. Now, this design, of course, was not well accepted, and with the facelift, BMW relocated the power window switches back to a more conventional location. This is also the first time after the E39 that BMW no longer had the blowers on the door card. The blowers are now relocated back to the dashboard. So you can see across there, that is how the door card and the dashboard now meets at that angle. In the case of the right-hand drive car, like the E39, the E60 has a slightly offset instrument cluster whereby the steering is angled to the driver's body center line, but the instrument cluster is offset slightly to the left. The instrument cluster itself is also of a relatively simple design. They have taken out the water temperature gauge, and now all is just the fuel gauge, the fuel consumption gauge, tachometer, speedometer, that's it. There's no water temperature gauge here, but there's a water temperature warning through the car's onboard computer. This steering also, of course, is not the original factory appearance. It's the original factory steering, but the owner has also indulged in some additional upgrades as well. You can see this car has the mechanical gear lever because it's the pre-facelift car. The facelifted cars from 2007 onwards, they have the electronic shifter with an upgraded iDrive. Now, this iDrive controller of this design does not belong here. This is also another upgrade by the owner where you will now see a BMW E60 with iDrive 6. The E60's dashboard also was the first whereby this center stack is not aligned to the driver but faces 90 degrees back. That was a design aspect that caused a bit of controversy amongst enthusiasts. So that was one thing that BMW dropped, because after that with the F10 they re-angled the center stack back to face the driver. I remember back when the F10 was just launched, and after that I immediately went back to sit in the E60, and when I looked at this part of the center console, I honestly felt at that time the E60 had aged. When you sit in the F10 and you come to this part here immediately looks old. Well, but now I'm coming from an E39, this actually looks contemporary enough to me. This car has a start-stop button. This is the early generation start-stop button, where you see that at that time, the lower spec models, they would have the standard key twist, whereas here, in this one, you insert the key fob here and you press the start-stop button here. So let's show you the back seat. Now, I am reluctant to sit inside the car because this car is already in its final stage of preparation before handing over to the customer. So I am taking absolute precautions not to dirty the car unnecessarily, just to admire the sumptuous leather that the owner is going to enjoy. I have to tell you right now, looking at this in person, the camera does not do justice to the vibrancy of the color of these seats. They are just exquisite, beautiful, beautiful. There really is a lot of work to be done on this car. Serious bodily wear and tear, but mechanically it's in great shape. Yeah, I drove yesterday, it runs superbly well. And the interior is also well cared for, but the owner has requested that we give him a full reupholstering, Napa package. It's going to rewrap the steering as well. This steering wheel, the owner told me he sent the original wheel to China and it came back with all these carbon fiber inserts and this gila sporty design. And checked out the center console, updated to an aftermarket new generation iDrive look. So if you remember, the E60's iDrive has that milled aluminum rotary knob, which the owner has taken out for the more recent F-Series Gen iDrive. Rotary knob and switch combo. Back seats. Okay. So the seat's going to be redone as well. Roof lining, we've advised the owner to preserve. A-pillar trim is coming out. So 20 years from its launch, the E60's impact in shaping the direction of automotive design, I believe, is absolutely undeniable. What a legacy this car has left for the industry. I am honestly still not a fan of the design, but I have great respect for what this car has achieved overall. And if you are a fan of the BMW E60, I can tell you now is the best time to buy, because prices really here in the Malaysian used car market is at an all-time low. You can conceivably get yourselves a well-sorted E60 for less money than an E39. I'm kidding you not. And the thing is this, a lot of the E60's bad rep, I can testify from experience working on this car, is unjustified. You see, the problem with the E60 was that in the early years, many unscrupulous mechanics worked on this car, did bad workmanship notwithstanding, and charged exorbitant prices. A fine example would be the infamous active steering issue. A lot of owners went to mechanics, active steering fault, mechanics say, okay, change steering rack. Bah! Then, a few months later, the issue come back. As it turns out, in many of these cases, the issue was not the rack, but is the steering angle sensor. And it can be resolved with either cleaning the sensor or just resetting the active steering system using a DIY method that you can easily find on Google and on YouTube. So these cars, they are great to drive, handling is fantastic, the inline-six engines are beautiful, the design is subjective, but they are solidly built, they are reliable, they are good cars to own and to drive. So if you are a fan of the E60, you've been dreaming of getting one of these for many years, I can tell you this, now is the best time to pull the trigger. Don't listen to the naysayers. Okay, so that's it from me today. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. And if you are a fan of the BMW E60, please let us know in the comment section below, or which generation of the 5 Series is your favorite, E39, F10, G30, E28, or if you like the new G60, share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have not done so, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you know the next time I publish a new video, whether it is on car reviews or car care. Do also check out the channel of all my other Horizon team members as well. And remember that every Monday night, Bobby, Tana, Thomas and myself are live on Facebook and YouTube to address your car buying questions. And of course, if you need car washing, car care, car detailing solutions, you can always contact the Evo Club Car Wash team to find out our latest promos, packages, or if you just need some advice on how to solve certain problems with your car. So until my next video, take care, stay safe, I'll see you soon.